my god, where do I even start? I have never felt so lost in my life. Hello, I'm Teresa and welcome back to my channel. This feels so foreign. I haven't vlogged since May when I went overseas. I've decided to make a comeback with YouTube, and I guess for this video I just want to give you guys an update on my year. It has been crazy. I thought today I'll do a bit of a chit chat, get ready with me. To sum it up, this year for me, I went traveling, I've quit 2 jobs, I started a business, and I also fractured my foot. Going back to 2023, late last year, I went through a breakup, and not gonna lie, going through a breakup literally sucks, but I feel like it really forced me to reflect on my life and kind of just figure out what I wanted to do for myself in 2024. I remember there was this one day I was FaceTiming Angela and we were like, oh, should we go on a holiday? Where should we go? We were thinking of doing like a small trip. So we decided to book Hamilton Island, which we went to in April. And I remember that phone call, one of us said, should we just do like a huge trip? We made the decision so quickly, but then we decided to also go to the States. And I guess it was the perfect time to book a long holiday and then also resign from our jobs as well. So Andrew and I decided to quit our jobs in May, so I had to give a month's notice. I really did like my job. I really enjoyed what I was doing like day to day, but I think for me, I wasn't as attached to my job long term because I knew I wanted to work in a different industry. So I was happy to resign to go on this trip because for me, I wanted to go on this trip and just be mentally clear of everything. Like I kind of just wanted to go on this trip and I didn't have any like responsibilities, I guess. It was just like me traveling and then coming home and just figuring out my next steps, and I was really fine with that. We went to Hamilton mid-April and then we came back. I think we worked maybe like another 2 weeks, and then Ange and I finished up at our jobs and then we got on a plane to New York City. We pretty much did East Coast and then West Coast. I'm just getting up our spreadsheet, but we went to New York, Washington, Virginia. So I have a bit of family in America as well. Orlando, Miami, Vegas. Oh my gosh, Vegas was so much fun. I didn't expect Vegas to be like a highlight of my trip, but it definitely was. Then we went to San Diego, Palm Desert, Palm Springs, Joshua Tree, LA, San Fran, Lake Louise, Jasper, Calgary, Montreal, Chicago, and then from Chicago we flew back home to Sydney. I got back to Sydney early July. I've always wanted to go to the States, especially like New York. So that trip for me was definitely a bucket list moment, and I'm so grateful that I got to go with Angela. Like the memories and the laughter, it was just like one for the books, and I can't wait to like tell my kids about this trip that I went on. Just thinking about it literally makes me want to cry because oh my god, why do I feel like crying? I just feel like that trip for me was one for the soul. You know, it was like one of those trips. Obviously, I know like quitting your job can be really fucking scary. And not gonna lie, yeah, part of me was scared, but I was also just so excited for the unknown. And I also felt like now is a time in my life where I should go travel. I also felt as though I am far enough along in my career where I know I can back myself in terms of like my skills, what I can bring to a company. So I knew that, you know, when I came back from my trip, I was hoping I would find a job as soon as possible. I come back from my trip early July, and I think I took maybe like a week or 2 to kind of just like chill and get back into whatever routine I had. Honestly, I didn't really have a routine. It was more like get back to the gym, catch up with friends. I think it took me around like 1.5 months to get a job, I would say. I applied for a lot of different jobs. I was kind of looking for marketing manager roles. I was interviewing for this one company that I really liked, but it was a social media manager role, and I wasn't really sure if I wanted to go down the social media route, but it was a company I knew that I could grow in. I did like 2 interviews, a task, and I didn't get accepted for that role. I was also interviewing for another role, which was a senior marketing associate role. So that role was more strategy, execution, end-to-end campaign. So I feel like that role was better suited in terms of like my experience. I had a 30-minute video call with HR, and then had to do an interview with the head of marketing. And after the interview with head of marketing, I had to do a task, and then from there I had to go into the office and present my task and my deck to them. And then after that, I did an interview with the general manager. So it was pretty much like 5 rounds. It went by really quick though. I remember this one day, I was catching up with my old work friend. We went to like Coogee, and then I get a call from HR and they offered me the job. I was super excited. So I'm currently not at that job anymore. I stayed for a couple months and I just felt as though I wasn't really aligning with the job long term. Like, I don't regret making the decision at all. And I remember as I was working that job, I just felt so motivated in life to do my own thing. I really wanted to start my own business. I felt the motivation to just like get something up. So that's when I started Soul Sin Socials. Pretty much I do wedding content creation, and it was just so fun getting up my business. Like, I really enjoyed working on like the branding, bits and bobs that went into getting it live. So if you're an upcoming bride, let me know. So I launched the business, and then I've shot a few weddings, and I actually have a wedding next week as well. I just feel like when you work on your own business, or when you work on like a project that's like yours, it just feels like a lot more rewarding. I launched the business, and my sister's also in the wedding industry as well, and like bless her, like she's been so helpful in like giving me tips and tricks, and also helping me land my first couple of clients as well. So big shout out to my sis. I think like 2 weeks or like 3 weeks after, I fractured my foot. I had so much momentum with the wedding business. I had a major setback, and obviously that meant that I wasn't able to go to any weddings. I wasn't able to get content. Not gonna lie, it was pretty rough on me mentally. Once I accepted my fate, that my foot is broken, there's literally nothing I can do besides rest. The quicker I will be able to get back on my feet, which I am now, thank God. How I fractured my foot, honestly, I don't even have an interesting story, but I was literally at my friend's house. I must have like tripped or something, but I slammed my foot so hard from the trip or whatever it was. I slammed it so hard on the concrete, like there was like an edge, I guess, and I fractured it. I thought I just sprained my ankle. Like, it was very, very painful, but I initially thought I sprained my ankle. I've had ankle problems like pretty much my whole life. So I was like, yeah, it's probably just my ankle. It did hurt a lot more, but maybe I was like in denial. But anyways, I come home, and then the next day, or that night actually, I booked physio because I was like, holy fuck, foot's fucking broken. Well, not foot's broken. I thought I just had a swollen ankle. So I went physio, like, let's get into rehab, let's get this sorted. And then the day after, it was still like hurting a lot. It was like very, very bruised, and I was kind of struggling to like walk on it. Not that I was like walking a lot, but I decided to go doctors to get an x-ray, and that was because of my mum. She was like, just go doctors just in case, because she's also fractured her foot before as well. So I think she kind of like knew. To the doctors and got an x-ray, and I fractured my foot. And at first I was like laughing, and then the day after it kind of hit me, because I was literally in a moon boot. I couldn't walk. I also had crutches as well. This one day I was just like, I was feeling all the emotions, because obviously my life right now is like so uncertain, right? Like, I launched my business, great momentum, fractured my foot, so now I'm pretty much like homebound. And I was just like unsure on like what I wanted to do in my life. So all those emotions hit me, and I was like crying so much this one day, and I literally had to like message my friend. I was like, hey, can you please just like call me? So he ended up calling me, and then like smacked me out of it. I think it's just like good. I feel like I have such a good support network. I'm so grateful for the people in my life, because without them, I would be a fucking mess. So it's been like 4 weeks since I fractured my foot. I'm walking on it now without the moon boot. I actually went to the doctors the other day, or like yesterday, to get a checkup, and we are looking good, which I'm so happy about. I just kind of got to be a bit careful. So I guess that brings me to where I am now. I think I mentioned it earlier, but I have never felt so lost in my 20s. I try to just like embrace that feeling and embrace the unknown. Now I'm kind of just in a space where I'm figuring out my next move. In 2025, I do have travel plans. I'm doing a Europe trip with my friends. My camera died, but I just finished the rest of my makeup. I don't really know what 2025 looks like for me. I want you guys to take away from this is that you're not alone if you're feeling lost and confused as to like, you know, where you're meant to be in life, or like what you're meant to be doing. I also came across this quote, and I feel like it's kind of stuck with me. It's pretty much, what you're not changing, you're choosing. And I feel like that for me was such a big statement or quote or whatever for this year. And I guess it's definitely going to be something I'm going to bring into 2025 as well. Like, pretty much if you're not happy with where you're at, then change, because if you don't change, that means you're choosing it. So pretty much do something about it. To get full deep, but like, We only have this one life to live, so live it how you want to live it. A lot of people in my life do work the 9 to 5. They do have a stable job, a stable income, but you know, those things are important to me. But I also felt like there were other things in my life that I wanted to achieve or do as well. And I guess just prioritizing things that are important to you at that certain time, and it's okay to change. Thank you so much for listening. Bring on 2025. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I will be vlogging during Christmas and New Year's. I have a lot of things coming up, so I'll definitely bring you guys along with me. And I will see you guys very, very soon in my next video. Bye!